Hey, yo, what's going on? Welcome back to La Ventanita C.F. I am your host, Wario64, accompanied today by the great Akeem Calypso. What's going on, Akeem?
What is up? We are back at it like a bad habit, giving the people what they want. I had people stopping me on the street, stopping me at work, calling me, texting me, emailing me, sending telegraphs, all the whole nine, sending carrier pigeons, asking us,
Sending owls.
sending owls, the whole thing, asking us when to record again. So here we are. I got my Red Bull. I've had a long day at work. I don't care. We're recording. You got to get this up by Monday morning. So here we are to talk all things.
Yeah,
Well, not all things, but most things here to Miami. Let's go.
yeah. Yeah. If you're coming looking for some certain topics that are a little bit controversial, we might not touch on it as much as you want. But hey, you can come and talk to us at the tailgate about different stuff, and we'll give you that disclosure. But first and foremost, I did want to welcome everybody back. It does feel good to be back. Towards the end of the season, last season, my PC did crap out. Horrible shit. So right now I'm on my girlfriend's MacBook. We're making it happen. We're making it happen. Like you said, Akeem. Shout out to Lucho Lalo, 1896, bro. He hit us up earlier in the week. He was like, "When's it happening?" And I tweeted that one out. I was like, "Very soon."
Yeah,
You set the limit on Monday, so you put the pressure on. That's good for
exactly.
us
Yeah.
because we have been busy. We have been super busy. Life has been happening, but we're getting back into the swing of things. And if I got to do it on the MacBook, I got to do it on the MacBook. I'll get the PC fixed eventually. I got a PS5 for now anyway.
There we go. Yeah.
So
And
what do we got for the people today, Akeem?
let's bring up the menu. So we got some roster changes to talk about. We're gonna touch lightly on what happened actually on the field at the Vasco da Gama match. We played St. Louis in a closed scrimmage yesterday, but we got some reports. Most of them from Alex Windley. Go check out Alex Windley. She does some good reporting at the Heron Outlet.
She's awesome.
She's amazing. She's got some information on the St. Louis game that was closed to the public, but was open to media. So she got some info on that. Then we're going to talk about what we expect this season. A lot of things have been moved. We have a lot of new faces. We have a lot of old faces returning. So we're going to talk about season expectations. And then at the end, we're going to have a little fun. We're going to talk about some things that got leaked. We got some merch. I'm pretty sure people saw the tweet. The tweet got a lot of views. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people that are watching saw the tweet about some of our merch. And we're going to talk about the jersey that got leaked as well. And I believe we might at our next episode have more details on actual uniforms. Maybe not, but we'll see.
Yeah, so definitely looking to be a great episode. Definitely gonna catch up a little bit here and bring you guys closer to what's going on with Inter Miami, current day, present day, what's going on. And if we look a little bit into the past, end of the season last year left a little bit of a sour taste in our mouths, but all in all, looking forward to a new season. It does feel good to get a refresh. A lot of really exciting signings, so might as well get right into it. Want to start with the king himself,
Yes, let's
El
do it.
Rey.
Yes, the man of
Yes,
the hour, basically. Joseph
the big
Martinez,
carepas.
the big arepa is in South Florida, and we love it up in Doral with the honeys. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh dude, Dural's popping off right now.
Doral's having a great
I'm,
time.
I'm talking to a lot of Venezuelans. They're excited, man.
Mm-hmm.
We have that excitement came to us when we signed Yedlin last year. Being
Mm-hmm.
able to like us being USA fans, you rocking your Battle 76 shirt, looking
Mm-hmm.
fresh, dude.
Yes.
Right?
I love the shirt.
Having a national team player on your team is an indescribable experience, and it's life changing for me having Yedlin on the team. It's been really really cool. I've really adapted to it, but I can't even imagine for the Venezuelans having Joseph on the team now being the player he is, right? Yedlin's a right back. His impact is seen. It's great, but he's not scoring goals like Joseph is, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So
Yeah, Joseph, he's a proven goal scorer. Everybody knows that. Of course, he had a couple of not so great seasons. ACL tears are gonna kind of do that. ACL is kind of an important part of the body.
turf, turf,
And,
turf.
and that's another thing that people need to keep in mind is he played all those years in Atlanta playing on a turf field. We have natural grass in most of our fields. I don't even think when they use the practice fields, they don't use those turf fields. So, because that's
The
mostly
turf
used for
fields are for the high schools.
yeah, for the
That's
high
for high
schools and
school.
for the academies, they use that. Every field that they practice on and the fields that they play on are 100% natural grass. I
World
forget
class.
the guy. I forget his name is escaping right now, but he's on Twitter, the actual groundskeeper,
Yeah,
and that dude puts
he's great. He's a great
so
follow.
much. He's a great follow. I learned so much about
Yeah,
fucking grass
grass.
just by looking at his tweets. He has some good shit. We actually stole him from Orlando City, which is great.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
really cool. And
he was their groundskeeper before.
so let's we'll get back into Joseph, but let's talk turf versus natural grass here for a second because I've seen it leak into the NFL now. I even saw a tweet saying that
Mm-hmm.
most NFL players are pleading. The NFL Players Association is pleading with the NFL to go away from the turf surfaces, to go away from the artificial surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the Hard Rock Stadium, they got this weird like hybrid going on there where
That's the
it's not
new
exact.
thing. There's this new
Yeah,
type of turf that they're using. I forget the name of it, but they have little. I don't want to say the word holes because that's the wrong term, but it's kind of like to simulate little cuts in grass, and that's what's fucking players up.
perforations,
Yeah, they have like little perforations,
perforations.
and they're that's what's fucking people up. That's kind of what happened with Brad Guzan. Brad Guzan tore his Achilles just like
Yeah.
backtracking on a ball. He was just backpedaling, and he just fucked up his Achilles. And it's
Miles Robinson
my,
last year, half of Atlanta United's roster.
yeah, Miles Robinson, and that's a thing that we have to consider, or at least USSF has to consider when they pick stadiums, because a lot of these are football stadiums and they don't have natural grass. Like the Benz is a stadium. I believe Charlotte Stadium is one of the sites, and I don't believe that's natural grass. I could be wrong about that. Lumen Field is
Seattle,
New Lumen
Seattle, yeah,
Field. That
yeah.
is also turf field. So it's kind of a big problem where we have to pick venues based on the type of grass that they have. And the turf grass, even though the technology is getting better, you can't really beat natural grass. And I understand there's
Well,
certain limitations. Like if you're in Seattle, you can't always have natural grass, or if you're in a dome, you can't always have natural grass. But like it sucks. Like it's meant like if it's hurting people, literally like hurting people and injuring players, then you gotta find solutions.
I've I've done a lot of research into the topic, right? And I'm naturally a scientist. I like to look at both angles. I like to see, what the tests say, what the research says, and I don't really trust research 100% all the time. You got to take some stuff with a grain of salt, depending on where it's coming from. But I have read some things where there supposedly is no correlation between players getting more injured on natural grass versus turf. When they do the research, they do the trials where they compare the amount of players that get injured on natural grass versus turf. And to kind of play devil's advocate and sit on that side for a second, Inter Miami gets a lot of injuries too playing on natural grass.
Robert
You
Robinson.
yeah, just because you have natural grass does not mean your players aren't going to get injured, right?
Hmm.
Um, but bringing it back to the natural grass side of things, when you talk to people that have been in the sport for a while, right? When you talk to people who play the sport specifically, coach the sport, 10 out of 10 times they're going to tell you they prefer natural grass over turf. It also has to do not with the injuries, with how the ball bounces, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the turf, it's very unpredictable where it bounces. A lot of I like to go to Miami FC matches, whatever. When I go to those Miami FC matches and they're playing on the FIU turf, it's unpredictable how the ball's going to bounce once it hits that turf.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Inter Miami, it's a way softer bounce
Mm-hmm.
of the ball on the grass. It's much more predictable. So, me personally, I'd like to see us go back to natural grass, whether it's American football, whether it's soccer, whatever's going on, especially with Copa America coming and the World Cup coming.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's in our best interest to kind of go back to these natural grasses. Now, on the other side of it, why are teams going for turf? Right? With if all of the players prefer natural grass, why are they doing it? You got to look at the money,
It's money.
right? It's money. It costs a lot of money to keep up grass. You got to have a guy like the guy Inter Miami has, right? Who's the groundskeeper, who's keeping up the grass, and they're aerating it. You see them coming around before the games, and they're poking the grass with like a kind of like pitchforks, and they're aerating it. There's all sorts of maintenance that has to go into it. And I remember when I was a kid, a friend of my dad's used to tell me that he was one of the groundskeepers at the Dolphin Stadium at Pro Player, and he would tell me, how like would play on it, they'd tear it up, and then they'd have to like patch it up and fix it up, and it was a big pain in the ass, right? Whereas now the Dolphins and play in the stadium, it's turf, they don't have to repatch anything, right? It's a little bit of a convenience thing to them, but I think what's getting lost in all of this is the safety of the players. And if you look at Atlanta United last season, if you look at the body of Joseph's career with them, right? There's just so many injuries that happen on turf, and I would like to see what players prefer to play on, right? If the players to me are the most important thing, I don't care about owners. I don't care about teams. I don't care about coaches. I care about the people who are giving their blood, sweat, and tears on that field. And if they want grass, give them grass. And if they want to play on moon rocks, then give them moon rocks. Like, come on. Like, what's the big fucking deal, dude? You guys are millionaires, billionaires. Make it fucking happen.
We have
Whatever.
we have to maximize the utilities that we have in order to give our players the best advantages. Like, for example, the way that Hard Rock Stadium was designed. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the way Hard Rock Stadium would have when they added that roof, because you and I know before they had that roof and after they had that roof, right? When they put that roof on there, they specifically made it so that the away team.
It's a semi roof. It's a semi roof, by the way. Yeah.
They designed it.
It's a canopy. It's a canopy.
That's the
right
way to use it.
Yeah.
They designed it so that the away team, because they play the games at the same day every day, they designed it so the away team always has to sit in the sun, and the home team has to sit in the shade. So they're using
the sidelines. Yeah, the sidelines. So the home sideline is in the shade, and the away sideline is in the sun, which provides an advantage in a baking ass sun in September.
And that's why they, in most of their home games, the Dolphins will wear white because it forces the other team to wear a dark color in the hot Florida sun. So stuff like that.
I love that about us, though.
That's perfect. So stuff like that that can be to our advantage. So Joseph, with his bad knee, I forget which knee he hurt, but with his bad knee, that could be something that can help him a lot. He can be on natural grass, which is a lot better for your knees, especially your knees in general. Even though Robbie Robinson keeps getting hurt, but that's neither here nor there. But that can help out a lot. By the way, I looked up the guy's name, Matt Broderick, I believe. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. At Matt Brud, Brud. That's the director of turf and grounds at the team. And this man knows his grass.
He does. He's really good. And earlier in the year, he took us behind the scenes and showed us how Inter Miami redid their grass as well. Which is always interesting. I don't know. I'm a science guy. I'm a nerd. I find stuff like that really interesting. Yeah. But yeah, Joseph, bringing it all back to Joseph, like you said, there is injury concerns with Joseph. We are getting him on a very friendly TAM deal, I believe it is, or I don't even know if it's TAM because I think Atlanta's paying most of his wages anyway, something along those lines.
From what I understand, they had to buy out the rest of his contract so that we can sign him. It's from what I gathered how that worked, because he still had time left on his contract. So not Inter. Atlanta had to buy him out, and we're doing some weird thing where they're paying some of his wages and we're picking up the rest, and it's complicated. His contract's very complicated.
It's complicated, but I think to simplify it all, what becomes interesting here is this: Miami is a desirable location for anybody, right? A lot of these players. You have the choice between playing at Raw Salt Lake or you have the choice between playing in Miami or Seattle or whatever. And Seattle's a great town. Nothing against Seattle, Portland, whatever, but it tends to get colder in these towns. It's not as vibrant. There's not as much of a nightlife. A lot of these soccer players are looking to also amplify their profile in marketing. And where else better to market yourself if you're a Venezuelan international than one of the largest Venezuelan populations, if not the largest Venezuelan population in the United States, outside of Venezuela, maybe. And I think what probably happened here, right, is, okay, they bought him out and he could have gone somewhere and gotten DP money. And I think Joseph might have left some money on the table. Joseph might have said, you know what, I'll go to Miami. I'll be great there, and then I'll be able to get a DP contract with them or with someone else. I'm not. Do you know how long the contract is? Let me see if I can pull it up now. 1 year. Okay, so yeah,
it's 1 year with an option.
Yeah, so once Pizarro's contract ends at the end of the year, then possibly they can upgrade him. So, I'm really looking forward to the future of Inter Miami with Joseph Martinez. Last year I said Pozuelo was our most important signing ever. And I stand by that at that moment. But at this moment, I believe Joseph Martinez is the most important signing we've ever had. And the reason why I do believe that is because, yeah, we've had Gonzalo Higuain. And Gonzalo is a storied, great, skilled player. And we had our discussions about him last year, which I ended up being right. Whatever.
That's fine.
Whatever. take my points on that one.
That's
But
fine.
at the end of the day, the Gonzalo Higuain project, we both agreed on one thing: it had to end after this year,
Mm-hmm.
right? You wanted it to end early. I said, you know what? Let him play out the rest of the year. He could help. He did help.
You did.
Okay, and we've had players Gonzalo Higuain on the roster already, right? Um, I don't think it helped. It's not what you wanted. It's not what I wanted. It's not what a lot of diehard Inter Miami fans wanted because we wanted players with MLS experiences. Pozuelo brought that, and you saw the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Martinez brings it times 3, in my opinion, because of the electrifying player he is. If you've been watching MLS for the last 5 years that he's been in the league, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the beginning when they won MLS Cup, I believe it was their second year,
Yes.
and he was doing the fusion dance with the Paraguayan dude. I can't remember his name. He's at Newcastle now.
Almiron.
Almiron. So Joseph's just he's a great fucking player. We have a great fucking player. We have a goal scorer. We have a difference maker. Last year, Neville used to talk about, well, we need our DPs to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
We have someone who's not even a DP right now, who is a DP level caliber player, who you could team up with other ones, and this team could really, I think, make a run if everything kind of falls in place in the right way, right? If you catch lightning in a bottle, but I
Mm-hmm.
believe it's easier to catch lightning in a bottle when you have Joseph Martinez up there.
Yeah, I think he can help us a lot. He hasn't. We're gonna get into some of the games that we played in the preseason. Of course, the results are a bit skewed because he's not playing. Duke isn't playing. I don't know what's going on with Robbie Robinson. I think he played against St. Louis, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look up
My,
some.
my opinion. Sorry to interrupt here.
Mhm.
My opinion on preseason. I don't really give a shit
Of course, no, I don't.
what
I don't.
happens in
I
the
don't put
preseason.
too much
Yeah,
stake in it. It's
yeah.
preseason that we're playing formations and players we aren't normally gonna play. Like we played two completely different rosters against Vasco da Gama. We ended up losing, but like those games are really meant to be won or lost. They're meant to be like try out things, see how people fit in situations. Sometimes you're gonna play somebody out of position just to see how they handle it. That's what a preseason is for. Just to try shit. Okay, that didn't work. All right, cool. So now I know X person does this and the X person does this. Here's what we need to work on. So I'm not gonna
You know,
put
you
too
know
much
what?
stake in preseason. Go ahead.
You know what else happened in Vasco da Gama? I believe he was just trying to get everybody minutes, especially
Yeah,
people who knew that
yeah,
weren't gonna get minutes. You know, he
yeah.
just wanted to see everyone touch the field a little bit. So whatever, and
And
we'll get more into that.
yeah, and so he's trying out things. He's experimenting things. We beat FIU, which is fine, but and I think
But
he's
what?
still
Let's go back to Joseph though.
in.
What's your view on what do you think about that signing?
I
Do
think
you do you agree? Do you think it's the most?
it's the right signing for what we need right now because we need to replace Higuain's goals. That was the big thing. Is okay. We all knew Higuain was going to retire. We all knew we needed to replace him. So who better than to replace him than a former MVP, someone who is looking for a new situation, not only as far as team and front office, but also like you mentioned the Venezuelan population. Like I was looking up the Venezuelan population. So for example, in 2015, the Venezuelan population was about 125,000. That is
Here,
almost
Miami.
yeah. That was in 2015. As of 2020, that is almost doubled.
Yeah,
Like it's
100%.
crazy. We have the largest Venezuelan population by far. But like I'm looking at the census data now. Like it's not even close.
It's a perfect puzzle piece.
New York is the closest, and that's 18,000.
Wow.
Yeah, they're the closest.
18,000 compared to
And then
250,000. Wow.
I'm going to list. Then we have Texas at 60,000. So
Okay, just the state of Texas,
the state of Texas, yeah, it's state by state.
the biggest state in the country, mind you.
Yeah, one of the biggest.
versus,
Yeah, and they
versus one of the smallest cities in the U.S. One
and
of
they
the smallest like metropolitan areas
yeah,
as
and
far as size. Miami.
they barely get it even close to us. So, and that's one of the things he said even in his interview when they asked him directly. I'm like, what is one of the things that you've loved about the area? And the first thing he said was Doral. That was the first word out of
Yeah,
his mouth because
of course, man.
he already has family there. He has a home here. He just had a kid. I believe his son is like 2 months old. So he just had a kid, so he can be near his family with his newborn. He's in a new situation where the front office isn't, at least for now, honeymoon phase and all that stuff. but the front office wasn't treating him very well. Even Carlos Bocanegra's statement, I don't know if you saw it, about how we could have been really nasty and been assholes about it, but you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna be nice. Like even like you can sense the pettiness in that statement. Like we could have been assholes and we could have shipped them because Charlotte was looking at him, Nashville was looking at him. I think it was a team from the West. I think it might have been Austin or something like that.
It was an ugly breakup, and I'm glad Atlanta was gracious and nice enough to be nice to him.
Yeah.
Whatever. But like we said, I think he's a lot more comfortable being around his culture. I think you can't really replace that. I moved to Texas for 9 months, and it was terrible for me being away from Miami. I grew up here, you know what I mean? And he didn't grow up here in Miami, but at least he's surrounded by other Venezuelans, and like you said, he's got his baby here, and they can make that happen. But um I think as a player, and like anybody, any employee, right? You have a job, I have a job. Any employee wants to feel appreciated at their job. And I'm working at a new school this year versus where I was last year. And at this new school, I feel appreciated by my new principal. I really do. By the people I work around. And that goes really far. So I think another thing Joseph is going to find here in Miami is he's going to be appreciated by ownership. He's going to be appreciated by his fellow players, by his general manager, by whoever it is, because Henderson's just, first of all, a stand-up guy. That he's such a nice guy. I ran into him that day at City Hall, and he was just such a nice dude. Like, I just can't put it any other way. So I do think Joseph is walking into a good situation here. And when a player feels good and comfortable and is happy, just like any employee, they're going to perform better, in my opinion. And if he could stay healthy, like I said, I think he could be the difference maker in taking our team from mediocrity above, right, into the top 4 spots in the Eastern Conference, because that or hanging around at least 5th, 6th. The season stopped dropping so below the playoff line at certain points, not being so Jekyll and Hyde. And I think he can make us a consistent force in this league. And time will tell, But I'm really excited to see him play. I'm definitely gonna go get a number 17 Martinez jersey ASAP.
Shout out to Nano. He was excited because he's Venezuelan.
Oh yeah, Nano, bro. I'm
moon
super happy.
in the
Caesar
group chat.
too.
Caesar.
Caesar's half Venezuelan as well, man. I'm happy for dude. Yeah, quick shout out to all my Venezuelan people, man. I love you guys, dude. Tequeños are fire, dude. Fucking Venezuelan food is the shit. I love Venezuelan like fast food. Like they kind of they border Colombia, so they got a lot of that similar like hot dog and burger kind of like sloppy street food style, which is great food when you've had a few drinks. It's amazing. But yeah, dude, I couldn't be happier.
One of these days, I gotta have an arepa if they have any at the stadium and post it to Footy Scran. You saw how we got fucking called out on Footy Scran.
Yeah.
It was I think it was what was it, a crepe that
they went to the Millonarios versus River game, and I believe that's where they bought it.
I know the guy who posted it. I forget his Twitter name is escaping me right now, but I know the guy who posted it. And it was like a $13 for a fucking crepe, the fucking highway robbery, bro. That shit was wild.
Yeah, and usually that Twitter you're talking about is another really good follow. He'll go all around the world and like show you like really good deals on food at stadiums. I'm so jealous at some of the shit he finds.
People send it to him.
Yeah, people send it to him, but still, it's cool because he's putting it together, right? So like you'll be scrolling through your feed, and then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit! And like the third league in Germany, they have like fucking fire ass schnitzels for like €5 euros or something, some ridiculous price. While a schnitzel here is like $18 anywhere you go at any German place. But that'd be fun, right? Let's get some Venezuelan food and send it over them. Look what we spent $14.99 on over at Drive Pink Stadium, which highway robbery.
Well, that's just
all right, man.
So shit in general, but so yeah, that's Martinez. As far as other new signings,
I got you.
Go ahead.
I got you. Let's talk about these. So, welcome, Joseph. Love you, dude. Can't wait to fucking rock out with you, bro. I can't wait for the North End to cheer for him, to see many goals. I do believe this is going to be a great relationship. Now, Another great relationship that I believe is budding here is one that's always been around the team. There's always been the connection between Inter Miami and Argentina, right? Whether it's the fan base, whether it's the team, there's always been an affinity for signing Argentine players, right? Gonzalo, Pellegrini, Carranza, Figal, Pires, those were kind of like that beginning bunch, and it didn't really crop out with them. So I kind of feel like the team started, then we went to the Brazilian phase. We got Gregore, we got Mota. We
Mm-hmm.
started giving other nationalities a chance, and the team did get better. But I do really enjoy these two Argentine signings. They do feel very much different than the other ones
You do.
because they they're different types of players.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with Stefanelli, who is an attacking winger slash striker slash center fielder. So he's got some versatility up there in the attacking game. With Nicolas Stefanelli, he's coming from a Russian club. Am I correct? No, Swedish. Swedish, right?
Yeah, Swedish. He
He's coming from a Swedish club.
he comes from IAK, which is like the big club over there.
Okay, so I like that because he comes from Europe. He comes from a league that probably competes with MLS as far as talent goes. It's a pretty good league. Maybe better than MLS. I'm not sure. I'm not very aware of the Swedish league, but I like this signing. And
Sweden,
the reason I like this signing,
yeah, Sweden is one of those leagues where it's kind of like Ireland, I believe, or like Ireland and some other leagues where you have like your one or two like teams that win the league every fucking year, and then you have like the scrubs that like third place and down. Like IAK, they're like the Swedish team.
Okay, so that makes me feel better, right? Is knowing that they're kind of like Celtic or
Yeah, they run the league in Sweden basically.
Mhm.
They're the ones that
or
win all the
Celtic.
championships.
Hey, last night at All Dubliners, we went to go watch USA Colombia. A little side note here. I
Nice.
used to think, okay, so I used to think that Irish people called the Boston Celtics the Boston Celtics. So I'm
Mm.
talking to like the Irish bartender. And I'm like, oh yeah, the Celtics or whatever. He's like, trying to just, he's like, no, 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 it's the Celtics. I'm like, really? Like, I thought you guys called them the Celtics or whatever. He's like, no, 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 no. We refer to Celtic culture as Celtic, and then the Boston Celtics or the team in Scotland or whatever, Ireland is called Celtic as
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
Not Celtic, so a little bit dumbass Bernie over here. But whatever, you learn something new every day. But yeah, I'm glad to know he's coming from a team like that, and I'm also glad because he fills a position that we weren't deep at last year. I remember sitting with you talking about what are we gonna do as striker? Who do we got as striker? Like,
Exactly.
what do we? There was a point where we had to put Robbie Taylor one game. Something happened with injuries, and Robbie Taylor ended up having to play striker. Or we had Emerson playing at striker, which we'll get into Emerson on the departure side. But Stefanelli brings depth. I can see him competing for a starting spot. I really do.
Oh no, he's
With Campana,
100% a starter.
you think 100%? I think 80 to 90% because okay, we're gonna have to start two strikers possibly now, right?
That's the prevailing logic, yes.
And I'm all for it. Two strikers, fuck yeah, sign me the fuck up. I've always wanted into Miami to have two strikers. We never had the depth for it. Now we do. And up front, we got Joseph Martinez and Stefanelli. In my opinion, I love you, Campana. But I do want to see Stefanelli up there, and I want to see Campana coming off the bench. I don't know. That's kind of just my opinion. I could be wrong. Maybe Campana gets the leverage since he's been here. Maybe he starts, and Stefanelli's the one that comes off the bench. We'll see what Neville decides. That's ultimately Neville's decision. But it seems like if you and I were in his position, we would start Stefanelli. Agree? That's what you said, right?
I think at the beginning of the season we're gonna start Stefanelli just to throw him in there. He's gonna need to get reps with us. I believe our first game is against Montreal, so that's a good test
Yes, it is.
to throw him in, and he'll probably come in. He'll probably start, and then Campana might come in for him after that. Yeah. So that's probably going to do. Like you said, we kind of we've been kind of front loading our attack like with these signings. Even the left back, we play a lot up the wings. Like we use Yedlin a lot to carry the ball up the wings and then cross it. Yedlin he was just a cross merchant. He would just cross all day. That's all they would do, Yedlin. He was never really a threat as like he would get the ball in front of the box like he's not gonna fucking shoot. He's gonna run it up the wing and fucking cross it. So now that we don't have to rely so much more on Yedlin to do it on the right side, we have someone on the left that can do that too. Because we use the cross. We use the cross more than dribbling up the middle. We did have distributions up the middle. And we did sometimes use that, but we mostly went up the wings and crossed in.
Yes, and that goes straight into our second signing there, right? Which um the one last thing before I get into the left back is this is last year there was a signing, Quarantine John or whatever. We didn't see much of him, but
At all.
we didn't see much of him at all. He seems like based on his FIFA rating, take that with a grain of salt, whatever. And he does come from Ligue 1. He does provide some depth there. So we do have Campana and John to back up Martinez and Stefanelli, or you could Gene and Coco Gene or whatever his name is. You can mix up all four of them up there, and I think you have a deep team, and you're gonna need that if you want to make an Open Cup run this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it. And then so that's one hole that was tapped in, right? Striker. We got the attack looking good because we bolstered it with those two signings, adding it to Campana and Gene. Now, another glaring hole in the team was left back. In my opinion, we've never had a proper left back ever.
No.
So, in the first time in 4 years, you've made another uber important signing in Franco Negri, who's coming from Godoy Cruz from the Argentine league.
Yep.
And this kid is a natural left back. He's a good player. I forget how old he is. I think he's in his 20s, or I could be wrong, or it might be 30. Yeah, 27. So he's in his prime. He comes from a very good league, a league that I definitely think is way better than the MLS in the Argentine league.
All over Argentina. Holy shit. San Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Quilmes, if I'm pronouncing that properly.
Shout out to San Lorenzo. A lot of our people, San Lorenzo, Julian, the Sarrafiore brothers. That's awesome.
Played for Independiente, News Old Boys. Then
Pato's in Independiente. Nice. Yeah, we got some Independiente boys up in
he's played all over Argentina, so he knows that league very well. He knows a lot of the Argentinian players very well. I'm pretty sure he's played against or with the other guy, Stefanelli. So they know each other pretty well. We had some Argentines, but I think it's a really good signing. Like you said, we were in desperate need of a left back. He apparently can play left midfielder too, according to Wikipedia. So he can.
Yeah, that was on there.
He can play all the way in the back, and he can push up, which is what we need. Like I was mentioned earlier, how we play a lot up the wings. So if for whatever reason Noah Allen is playing, like we having better depth, and apparently, quick side note, apparently Noah Allen is getting better according to Alex Winley. He's been improving.
I would expect so, man. He was 17 last year playing in the MLS. Give the man a break.
Getting destroyed by Austin FC, bro. I felt
17 years old.
I felt
17 years old though. Yeah, me too. But he was 17. He's gonna get better.
Fired. Throw him in the deep end. Fuck it.
Yeah, it was more by necessity as well
because we were hurting at the beginning of the season. We were hurting so bad.
So here's the story of left back last season, which is the whole story of it ever. There's just never been a left back, and then you signed Kieran Gibbs, I believe, in the second year to fill that up. It never panned out with Kieran.
Motherfucker's still on the team, by the way.
Yeah, of course, he's still collecting his check.
His
and then
check.
Yeah.
I don't know how good that is. Wait, for those that don't know,
did you do that?
You
did
know
do that?
Yeah, half his check is crypto.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Half his contract is in
crypto. Odell Beckham did that too. God, poor guy. Mm-hmm. Poor guy. Hey, or Forsyth, you never know, man. There might be another crypto spike eventually. Whatever.
But yeah, half his salary is in crypto.
I mean, he's got no other option but to hold on to it at this point because selling it, he's taking a big L on that one.
Yep.
Whatever. Kieran didn't pan out. We had to use McVay there last year, which honestly is like having a third center back back there. It's like having three center backs, like you said, and then we would always play up through the right in a way. So we were very predictable last year.
Yeah.
Whereas this year we're not as predictable because we have somebody who can take it up through the left. Now I know you mentioned midfielder. I don't think we'll see him in left midfield at all because that's another deep spot. But you might see the wing backs again. You might see one of those shitty 5-man back lines again, like Neville likes to do. But hey, maybe it works better this time. Maybe it works better this time. Yeah. It was, but at this point, right? If you could plug in Negri as a wing back on the left, if you plug in Yedlin on the right, if your center backs are a combination of McVay, the Ukrainian center back we're talking about, and Abika, which is still, that's someone else who's going to continue to get better.
Yes.
Someone who's 22 years old, or if they can make another center back signing and they can make that, maybe it works out. I prefer sticking with the 4-man back line and just play loose with your fullbacks. Play loose with your fullbacks because in your central defense, you're gonna have two solid central defenders with McVeigh and the new Ukrainian, and you also have Mota and Gregore who played really solid at that defensive mid, and are gonna be anchoring that midfield as well. So we'll see what Neville ends up doing, but again, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, the Negri signing is huge. Let me go ahead and pull up the list here and see if there's anyone else
While you do
that
that, quick, complete tangent,
yeah.
or really quick tangent.
Yeah.
They posted a picture on Instagram of Yellen standing next to Obika. He made fucking Yellen look so goddamn short.
Yeah, dude, Mabika's like what 6'5" or 6'6".
Motherfucker's so goddamn tall. It trips me out every
He's
time.
so tall, dude.
Like every time I
He's
see,
got so much potential. He's got
yeah.
so much potential, man. He could really be it, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
um, all right, here, you know what? Here's one we could talk about. Pizarro. He technically counts as somebody new
Technically, yeah.
because he was out on loan. He was out on loan to Monterrey for I believe like what last season,
Yeah.
all of last season.
Yep.
They did not exercise their option to buy. And there were some rumors coming out that we were gonna buy out his contract, and open up that DP slot. And all of a sudden, we see him arriving at the training grounds. Everything's mishmash, and nothing ever happened. It seems like whatever beef was in the past, it seems like everybody's kind of let go of it. And they're ready to start fresh. I have a lot of opinions on it. I have a lot of theories about what's happening there. So I'll get right into it. You spent 10 million on him, 10 and a half, 11 million, whatever, 11 and a half million. You spent 10 million plus on the deal, on buying him from Monterrey when you first bought him. I remember they were pissed about it too. They were calling out like collusion or something. They were trying to say some BS on the deal. I wish that went through, but at the moment I didn't. We were all hopeful for Pizarro when we first got him. Pizarro has been an utter disaster in his first 2 years at Inter Miami, and on the third year they decided to send him out on loan. While he was so bad, Akeem, he was such a bad cancer to the team that they sent him out on loan. He still occupied a DP slot, meaning he did nothing for your roster cap. Absolutely nothing. Sending him away was just literally getting rid of him without having to pay him the rest of his contract because we couldn't, because we bought out Matuidi's contract that year. You can only buy out one per year. So he was so bad they didn't even want him on the bench. Didn't even want him. They wanted him as far away as possible. They wanted him to develop, and he had a pretty bad year at Monterrey as well. I think I don't know if it was Sean, somebody brought up in the chat that he had 1 goal and 1 own goal. The same stats as Damian Lowe. 1 goal and 1 own goal. And we'll get into Damian as well. But the Rodolfo thing is weird. From what we saw at the Vasco da Gama match, he looked pretty good. The talent's there. Maybe it's mental, maybe it's psychological. Who knows what it is? I want to root for the guy. I do want him to do better, but I do think ownership is being a bit too frugal, and I hate telling people what to do with their money. But you're a billionaire, so and you own the team that I buy all your gear for, whatever, and I obsess over and spend money on. So as a fan, I really would have preferred if you bit the bullet, said, you know what, buy Pizarro, start over, and get someone new. Now, playing devil's advocate, I do think that there was probably not better options for them. One option that I do think is it makes it easier to send Pozuelo, if that was the case. But there's not much to defend here, honestly. I think ownership kind of forced Chris Henderson in a way to be like, you got to give him a chance this year because I'm not just gonna lose 10 mil. And I think in a best case scenario with Pizarro, you're able to trade him somewhere in the MLS during the season to somebody who might need a midfielder like by emergency, and maybe you can get some TAM out of him. Maybe you get something out of him, anything out of him. Better than getting nothing. 10 million gone, flushed down the toilet. So best case scenario in my opinion. But another best case scenario for me would be him balling out, playing great, whatever. And next season he wants to be free agent, and he leaves, and we made nothing on him. Whatever. It's not my money.
So, exactly. So as far as Pizarro goes, in my opinion, so from what I saw at the Vasco game, he apparently was playing really well. From everything that I heard from Phil Neville's press conference, his first press conference, he basically made it sound like he kind of got his shit together because he didn't play very well when he was originally with us. He got sent back to Mexico.
Yeah.
and he didn't play well. Like you said, he had one goal there basically. I'm looking at the stats right now. He has one goal to his name. But then he comes back and um, Neville is talking very highly of him. He seems to be playing very, even though we lost the game against Vasco, which I don't like we were talking about. I don't really care about the scoreline. It's a preseason game. We're trying new things. But he, from the first half that I did watch, he looked really well. He looked motivated. He looked like he was actually trying. So I'm willing to give him a chance this year. And we kind of don't really have a choice. Like, what choice do we have? We can't just ship him off. Um, his contract is basically a goddamn albatross, and that's something that we have to deal with now. But that's something that Paul McDonough kind of left.
It's gone in a year.
Yeah,
The silver lining is at the end of this year, all the sanctions are going to be done, so we're going to get all our Tam and Gam back, and pretty much all of McDonough's contracts will have been done.
exactly. So we kind of just have to
in a
deal
way,
with
yeah.
it for now, and this next season, we kind of have to bite the bullet for now and just bide our time. This season is going to be a transition season, for lack of a better term. We're finally coming out of the original bad contracts, the way the team was originally formed in a very slapdash, haphazard way, and now we're starting to at least start a good foundation. We haven't gotten to the heights where I think we could go, but we're just now, because of all the sanctions, COVID, and the stadium situation, all that stuff. We're finally starting to build a foundation to where we can start getting a decent team and start to actually, instead of barely making the playoffs, now we're competing for home matches and to get that. And so I think we're slowly getting there. I wish it would be faster, but I can see the changes that are being made. And I've always been more, especially when it comes to soccer and stuff like this, I've always been more of a long-term guy. That's why me and you argue all the time about Phil Neville, because I'm thinking the long con. I'm thinking way down the road. Okay, Phil Neville might suck now, but how is it going to be? I'm worried about 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So I think taking care of it now and dealing with this Pizarro situation and what other bullshit contracts that we have from Paul McDonough, and finally taking care of that and just biting the bullet now and then worry about later. I think that's what we're going to be doing for this year.
I want to talk about one thing you mentioned, which was transition year, and you got my attention there, and then you illuminated it more when you talked about our differences, because you're right. I think I like many other fans are very like, I want it now, right? Like I want the glory now, and I want the glory every year, and I don't like it's almost like yeah, you could get the silver lining of things and it's great, but I'm such a sore loser that, like, if I'm not the champion of the league, the entire season fucking sucked to me. You know, that's the point. And you got to build in perspective. You do, because if not, you're gonna be a miserable fuck, right? You're just gonna be a totally miserable fuck if you look at it that way. And in some ways, I am a miserable fuck, because unless we're winning the championship every year, then I'm gonna be pissed if
But
we're
only
not bringing
one
some
team can
score
win the
home.
championship. You gotta have
But that's the
29
part of
losers.
sports. It is. You do. But the part of sports is being delusional enough to believe you could do it every year. Right?
Every year we got a chance.
And you guys hear me? I come out on a 790 sometimes with Dan Day, and like I'll even call in sometimes, and he'll be like, "Come give us your crazy sports take." I remember like 2 years ago we had like a 5-game win streak or something. I was like, "Inter Miami's gonna win fucking MLS Cup." Like, you know, I really drink the Kool-Aid sometimes, and I'm tired of hearing that term, transition year. I really fucking am. It's just it boils my blood, but when I bring perspective into it, I do believe this is still a bit of a transition, but less of a transition. And I can't get so frustrated about it, because at the end of the day, it's less of a transition. Like we said earlier, things are looking better. It's kind of getting to the end there now, where we are going to come back to having roster flexibility. But at the end of the day, I still hate the MLS roster rules. I still think they're absolutely benign and horrible for the sport. I do believe that it's just frustrating, man, because I do believe money is the only reason Pizarro's still here.
Absolutely.
And I think we could both agree that if money wasn't a factor, and if anything, that this team could be way better off without him. right?
Yes, we can.
In a way, and it sucks because going onto the Gonzalo thing, I was the guy saying, hey, we would be a better team with Gonzalo, and I could be wrong here because maybe we could be a better team with Pizarro this year. Is it likely? I'm not sure, man. Hopefully he does handle his demons. Hopefully he does. But knowing what happens in Miami, knowing the party scene, knowing what he's gotten himself into through certain people that we've seen that have partied with him, right? We know the guy likes to party. Shit, I like to party. There's nothing wrong with partying. There's nothing wrong with that, but at a balance,
I mean,
right?
same thing
And
with Martinez
what,
too.
yeah, same thing with Joseph, right? These guys are larger than life, and who am I to tell them what they can and can't do with their money? But at the end of the day, they have to realize, number one, they're an example for kids, and number two, you could party, man. Do your thing, balance it out, man.
Yeah.
I struggle. I've struggled with alcoholism during the games, partying. I just took a month and a half off of drinking, and it's brought me a little bit of perspective where I'm drinking much less now. I'm not drinking to get overly drunk anymore and have a complete shit show faded. No, man, I'm drinking to have fun. So once I'm drunk enough where I'm having fun, I cut out the drinking. And I just really hope that whatever's happened in the past with him is in the past, and that we can look forward to the future because, like you said, it's all we could do with Rodolfo. And I'm the guy with a fucking Rodolfo Pizarro Joker tattoo on my leg right here. Right? Like I got this Joker card with the 1896. I put the Joker on it. I'm a huge Joker fan. I love the celebration. It's fucking cool. I like Rodolfo. He was our first DP signing. I want better from him. I really do. And I hate to say that I wish we would have cut him, but it would have given us more flexibility. Pozuelo would be on the team now, which gives us a perfect transition into what's going on with Pozuelo. If you guys aren't informed of what's going on, he is still currently a free agent. They're trying to work it out. He wants to come over here. I think his agency, I was trying to look for the article that people were talking about that his agency put out about how much he loves it here and how he wants to continue here. But at the moment, Neville's talked about the pieces of the puzzle and the cap. And right now, we're looking at a controversy whether or not Gregor is going to count as a DP because at this moment, I believe there's reports that Gregor's contract, which was a TAM contract, when he first signed, for some reason it's going to count as a DP thing, which again, I hate MLS roster rules. This is so stupid. How could he have been TAM and all of a sudden now he's a DP level? Whatever.
What I can assume is going on is they're giving him more money, and because of that, that might have to trigger like a quote unquote DP clause, I guess you can call it. Like if you're earning X amount of money, like you have to be listed as a DP. I think that's what got us in trouble in the first, because we were paying players under the table, and the accumulative amount of that money would have necessitated a DP contract. So I think that's what's going on. Because he's our captain. He's pretty much our best player. So I think that's what's going on. He's asking for more money, and I think that's what's taking the the Pozuelo situation so long, is because they got to figure out how to allocate this guy's money and this guy's money and this guy's money to make it all fit within the MLS framework. Because you have, by whatever date it is, you have to have your roster set, and you got to have your money right and all this shit. And if you got random money in other places and you're fucking paying Blaze Twitty under the table and shit and buy him a house, and that comes into this. So I think what's happening is they have to get all their ducks in a row, and Chris Henderson is great at this. You see me posting
let him cook.
The fucking cook memes. By the way, if you see the account posting cook memes, that's 90%. That's me.
That's you.
That's probably
that's you. No, 100%. That's you.
100%. That's me posting the cook memes. That's all me. So
yeah,
because Chris Henderson knows what he's doing, I trust that he's gonna be able to figure out the right way to move this money and and do the things that he needs to do. Hendo knows the MLS. He knows the league. He knows his players. So I have no doubt that he'll figure something out. And the only thing we're really waiting for is Pozuelo to be officially announced that he's back on the team. Because is he like officially, like as of right now, he's like unattached to anybody, or is he just a free agent?
Free agent. He's a free agent. He's not signed by anybody right now.
So he's completely unattached to, kind of like how Sean Johnson was a couple days ago. Okay.
Yeah, so if somebody else signs him, if we sign him, it's, we don't have to pay a transfer or anything. But either way, like you said, I do believe Henderson is going to figure it out. I do believe Pozuelo and Pizarro will be the two DP slots, and I don't expect us at this point. January is wrapping up this week, so the transfer window is closing. We could see a late move. We could see a surprise. I don't really think it's going to happen. I think what you see now is what you're going to get, because I do think they're going to hold that DP slot open for you-know-who. for a certain World Cup winner
that
who
keeps changing. That changes week by week. So who knows?
it does change week by week. All the reports change week by week, and I think at the end of the day, it changes because he possibly doesn't know what he wants to do. He just like okay. The first report that came out that kind of turned people off was saying that yeah, PSG, he was going to re-sign with PSG. They're going to restructure the contract, yada yada. Then all of a sudden, what's been coming out lately is that since he won the World Cup, his intentions might be different. He doesn't know if he really wants to continue with PSG, and I understand him. You just won the World Cup, pinnacle of your career. Um, you won Copa America not long ago. You've won the Champions League countless times with Barcelona. Winning the Champions League with PSG, yeah, that's a kind of a personal goal, I would say, for Messi, but I don't think he values it that much.
French league ain't
To
shit.
be really, really honest with you,
Like,
yeah, it doesn't mean shit to him.
The French league ain't shit.
The French league, it's not shit. And for PSG to be deemed what they should be deemed, they need to win a Champions League. This might be their last opportunity to do it with Messi, which, to be honest with you, they're so stacked. I don't think it makes a big difference to them, him there or him not there, because of how well constructed the team is, financially and their ability to sign players, whatever, and the players they already have between Neymar, Mbappe, whoever else.
They can just print more money anyway, so it's whatever.
I do think Messi's looking for a new challenge in his career.
Yeah.
The MLS isn't a big challenge in a way, but if you look at something like Inter Miami, if you look at a project like Inter Miami, right, and we're talking about transition years and when is it going to happen, right? Like, that's kind of a challenge in its own, right? Like, a team that's as big of a disaster as Inter Miami's been, like, bringing them to the top of MLS and bringing them into more international attention and possibly playing in CONCACAF Champions League or whatever, maybe that's a challenging values. Who knows? We know he loves Miami. We know he loves being here. And another challenge might be marketing. Maybe he wants to improve his image and amplify his reach in this side of the world, of North America, But we'll see what.
That's what I was gonna go to next. That's kind of what I was gonna bring up. It's not even just the footballing aspect of it, because, like you mentioned, he's kind of achieved everything there is to achieve. He's won Champions League. He's finally, that's the one criticism I've always had of him. He's finally won international trophies, so he's kind of done it all. And he doesn't really, especially now that he's won a World Cup, he doesn't really have anything to prove anymore. The Messi Ronaldo debate is done. He's won the World Cup. It's over. I don't care. He just stamped it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't give a shit either.
It's stamped. It's stamped. It's done. It's done.
Ronaldo, it's over, and this is coming from a Manchester United fan. I grew up a Manchester United fan. The decision is the discussion is over. He is.
And in their prime, I used to argue that Ronaldo was better. I was wrong.
In their prime, I can see the Ronaldo debate, but right now, the debate's over. Anyways, so not even just that, he can, like you mentioned, market himself in a market where he isn't as big as he would be in Europe or South America. North America is a massive, and I cannot stress enough, a massive untapped market. Not just America, think Canadians too. Because
money.
People sleep on Canadian soccer, but like, what the fuck do they play when they're not playing hockey? They play baseball and soccer. So people sleep on the Canadian market, people sleep on the American market, and it's money. It's a business. So he's got to think about it this way. And remember, he has deals with Pepsi, he has deals with Adidas. This can be huge for him as far as marketing ways. With Lay's, shit like that. Yeah. So it can be a really big market. He can fucking retire. He can play 1-2 seasons, and on the marketing money alone, on the brand deals alone, he can retire. He's also sponsored by Louis Vuitton, like shit like that.
And he could live in Miami.
And on top of all that, he gets to live in Miami.
Yeah. So where he already has multiple houses, not even a house, multiple.
Multiple houses.
I think it's important to keep that DP slot open for the chance, whether that chance is low, whether it's as high as some people think it is.
Even if it's a chance, if it's Messi,
you keep
that spot open. If there's a 5% chance, doesn't matter. If you can get him in, do it, because we will fill that stadium. We will suddenly go from the lowest attendance to the highest attendance.
Yeah, I'm glad we agree. I'm glad we agree on this, because there's part of me that wants to be like, give up the dream, bro. Like, sign somebody who can help you now. But
it's Messi.
It's messy. It's messy, dude. You gotta
All,
leave it
all,
open.
all, you can literally just sign him to just show up at the stadium. That alone is, I think, worth the price of
Just
admission.
to sell
Just to
jerseys.
show,
Just to sell
literally
jerseys.
just sign him on a fucking Matuidi deal and just have him show up and be an ambassador. And off that alone,
Nah,
we would sell out the stadium. Just have like, yeah,
nah.
Messi's gonna be at the fucking stadium. If you say Messi's gonna be at that stadium, people will fucking go. I don't care what anybody says. He doesn't have to kick a single ball. He just said, "Hey, Messi's gonna be at the stadium."
You know what's the
Sell
pinnacle
tickets.
of all of this to me? The pinnacle, like the absolute peak. Like, you know those memes where Vince McMahon's eyes and like the lasers are coming out?
Yeah.
The lasers coming out is Bryce Duke getting an assist to Lionel Messi. Like that is like I exist in 5 dimensions when that happens.
Bust the fattest nut if that happens, bro.
Dude, by the way,
actual, bro.
By the way, Bryce Duke followed me the other day on Instagram. I was so hyped. Like, not even Ventanita, like my account.
Yeah,
like,
no, Bryce Duke's the homie. He's the homie.
He's awesome, bro. I love him.
When we met him at the game.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, you were there.
Dude,
when we met him.
we gave him a Vice City sticker, and then he posted like a picture at his house or something, and you can see it on his fridge.
Yeah.
So that was really cool, man.
Him and Indy, we met them at a game.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and we'll talk about Indy now too when we talk about our departures. But yeah, man, I love Bryce. Bryce is one of my favorite players. He really embodies what you like to see in Inter Miami players. We brought it up last year. We'd walk around the crest, right? He really respects the colors. He respects the fans, and he's a fan favorite to me. He's one of my favorite players.
He's wearing a new number this season, by the way. He's wearing number 8 now.
Oh, no way. Oh.
Because I believe Stefanelli took 22, so he's wearing number 8.
No. Well, he moved up to 8, and then Stefanelli had to settle for 22. That's funny. What's Pozuelo gonna wear if he comes by? That's 10.
Yeah, because the number 10.
They want to save that from Messi.
Well, the number 10 is open right now because Higuain switched from 9 to 10. So now, right now, open. I'm actually looking at it right now.
I'm sure Pizarro wanted it. And they told him, "No, you can't have it."
Fuck that.
So he set up for 20.
So as far as because Traveler posted this on Twitter earlier, Yedlin's still number 2, Gibbs number 3, McVay number 4, Mabika number 6, Mota number 7, and then we have Bryce Duke number 8. This is on the official app, by the way. Campana still 9, Lasseter 11, La Cava number 12, one of our new signings. And Gene is still number 14. So Duke is number 8, and La Cava's number 12, and I believe Stefanelli's rocking 22 right now.
And we'll see what Pozuelo ends up rocking. I don't know if 21's taken.
Keep in mind, all of this can change because the rosters aren't set yet. I believe that happens right before the season starts, so things can change.
Okay. Maybe they give 8 back to Pozuelo if we get him back, and then Duke has to go back to 22.
As far as rosters, nothing's like we even had 2 players that we didn't have signed play at the Vasco game. We had like that.
Okello. Yeah,
we had that guy from Toronto, and this is Bailey, by the way. Oh, yeah. Really, Bailey? You're just gonna? Okay, cool. So she's calming during my bed right now because she sees I'm not in my bed. But yes. So nothing's set in stone right now, and all of this can change. Thank you for that. All of this stuff can change before all the rosters are set. So as far as that's concerned, we had those 2 players playing that didn't belong to us, at least not as of yet. We still have the kids like Neville. No, Allen should get more playing time this season, stuff like that. But let's go over to the departures now because we've actually already been talking for almost an hour. So let's go.
Yeah. And I think this is gonna be the main meat of the episode. But anyway, everything else should be pretty brief. Mm-hmm. But yeah, as far as departures, it's like, hey, sayonara, see you later. Not much to talk about. But yeah, going over it, the number one that I am gonna say, the one that probably hurts me the most personally, and I saw you did that tweet, and I love that tweet you sent out was Damien, and mm-hmm. Damien is another polarizing one amongst the fans because some fans really loved his work on the field. I really appreciated the effort I saw from him. There was a lot more effort I saw from him than any other center back that I've seen play for Inter Miami, right? Mm-hmm. And also his fan interaction. You posted the picture you got with him. Mm-hmm. I did the beach cleanup with him that one time. I also met him at City Hall. And he did that Ventanita video for us. It's on YouTube, man.
That's right.
Damien's always gonna. I've thought about putting 31 low on a jersey. I really have. Just as and the same way I've thought of Duke. He's to me one of those fan favorites. I'm gonna miss the person. as a footballer, he was a little frustrating to me. There was a lot of holes in his game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was obviously no player's perfect. I do think that some of his negative might have outweighed some of the positives he brought. And I'm kind of looking forward to a fresh start at center back. It's tough though because I really do like the person Damian Lowe. Those few interactions I did have with him, the ones you had, you could tell how great of a person he is, and it just hurts, but it's a business at the end of the day.
Of course, yeah, and he was a great player. He got us out of a lot of tough spots, but he also put us in a lot of tough spots. So I think that's where we kind of had to move on from him. He was our main center back, and he it was tough because he always had a different center back pairing with him. He was sometimes, and near the end of the season he played more. He played more with Mabika, but it was always kind of like a carousel of play because that's kind of how our roster was. We kind of had to just make do at the time and like just had to put people in there who were in there, and it was what it was. But I understand, like, and we got quite a. I heard mixed things because I've heard we've gotten ripped off. I've heard it was a good deal, so I don't know how to feel about it because I can look it up real quick and see what we got from. Well, we got a bunch of money.
While you look it up, see whatever. But here's what I see because they could have given us 2 Happy Meals, and I'll tell you why I'm okay with it, and a washing machine. All right, so yeah. All right, so hey, they're kind of expensive, but as far as transfers, whatever. All right, so the Ukrainian center back was probably always going to be on the way because what happened at the end of the season with NYCFC was a bit disastrous, right? So I think either Lowe or Mabika, both were probably going to transition to maybe coming off the bench between McVeigh and the new Ukrainian center back starting, right? I believe that was always the plan to start those two. I think the plan was to move away from Lowe. I love Lowe, and I would love him. I would love him even more as a sub on the providing depth at center back because, like you said, we've had a lot of injuries there. Having someone like him would be great, and that's what he's going to provide in Philly. I'm not really sure what their center back situation is like, but I think they're signing him for depth as well because they're a smart team. You've seen Philly. They're one of our. We love talking about them because the way they're constructed, the way they've changed. Jim Curtin, how they've kind of worked with that team, it's really good. So I think it's a really good signing for them. To add depth, I'm not sure if he's going to start, but knowing them, I don't think so. Now, here's my thing. The reason why Philly got him was maybe they had an injury happen, whatever the case may be. They inquired about him, and whether we gave him up, like I told you, for 2 Happy Meal toys and a sack of fucking laundry bags or whatever it is, I think we got something for him. We were able to turn
we got a lot.
Yeah, we got a lot. In my opinion, was it 225,000 in GAM or no 25,000?
No, you actually got it exactly right. 225,000 in GAM. I don't know why the terminology is like this, but a natural first round pick in the next year's draft, and on top of that, we get the homegrown rights to Senior Borgelin, the player for the youth, our second team, because he actually is from Philadelphia. So as part of that,
so they have the rights. So we basically got him. Oh, we got Borgelin. Borgelin's good. He's a good striker. Yeah,
we get the homegrown rights because he was at Philly's academy, so they had the homegrown rights to him. So we get his rights, we get the cash, and we get a super draft pick next season, first round pick at that too.
Yeah, first round pick, and what they mean by natural, probably meaning like their pick, not the pick that they get traded from somebody else.
It's another round pick because we're gonna be like this year. I think we're like 18th in the selection. So I think we get 2 picks in the first round. So that's probably
what it means is we would get Philly's pick, whatever Philly's pick ends up being. We get that one.
Oh, okay. Not even better.
Yeah. So not just like another first round pick that they trade to us. Not like that's what it means to me. Natural. Like your natural pick. Whatever.
Yeah, they don't specify what it means, but a natural pick, and we get the signing rights for Borgelin, and we get.
I would have done it for the 225 again.
Yeah, 225.
Knowing we're in sanctions, that's another thing. The cook has cooked up, bro. He's been collecting GAM wherever he can, and he needs to, and I'll take it. And it sucks to see Damien go. It really does. Another fan favorite that left. I don't know if it's IMCF Traveler or someone who claims he's the best Inter Miami player ever. I'm sorry, dude.
And the best Orlando player too, apparently.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're dead. You're dead ass wrong. But whatever.
Yeah.
Either way, he was a good player. I liked him a lot. Indy, gonna miss Indy. We met him at that game, like you said, at that Inter Miami 2 game. He was a really
Hmm.
nice guy as well. He played for Aston Villa. He has a cool story. He came through Tormenta's academy, I
Yeah.
believe. The team that we played in the Open Cup last year.
Hmm.
It sucks to see Indy go. But that's a part of the game because we do have an expansion team this year, and there was an expansion draft. So there was a list of players we could protect that we couldn't protect. That gets really tricky as well.
Hmm.
And I believe losing Indy did suck, but um, between Stefanelli and other people were getting it's not like he was going to get much playing time, in my opinion. Robert Taylor in front of him, Ari Lassiter. So I wish Indy all the best. I really do hope the best for his career, and I think St. Louis is a good place for him to blossom. And a little bit of a transition here. They did kick our ass, and how many goals did he score? Do you have that there?
I know he scored a free kick. I think he scored the
Yeah, he
first
scored a free
goal.
kick one.
I don't think. I think he scored either one or two goals. I know for a fact he scored at least one hat trick, or not one hat trick,
Mm,
one free kick. Um, and I know we lost that game against St. Louis 4-0. But again, Phil Neville was
yeah,
he was just putting players out there. He was trying a whole bunch of shit. So I'm not gonna take any. I'm not gonna take it too
yeah.
hard. We beat FIU, but like again, it's a scrimmage. I'm not gonna take
It's a
too much.
college team. It's a college
It
team. You
one, it's a
better
college
beat
team.
FIU.
Two, it's a scrimmage, and three, it's preseason. I'm not gonna put too much like craziness
Yeah.
into it. Like for example, like remember last year we literally won like a preseason tournament, and then we started the season losing 5 in a row. So like,
No, we had no, not losing 5. We had 1 point in 5 games.
oh yeah,
We
yeah,
had a
because
draw and four
we
losses.
drew
Yeah,
with Chicago in the first match,
it
the
was a
first
draw
round.
and 4 losses. Yeah, I was just talking to somebody about that.
So yeah, so I'm not gonna go too much crazy about the preseason because we're throwing
Yeah, me
people
neither.
together. We're throwing academy kids in there. We're throwing unsigned people in there. So like, it is what it is. Apparently,
Yeah.
one of the goals was a penalty. So yeah, I'm not stressing that.
All right. So our last departure is going to be Emerson, who you tweeted about. You sent out that tweet. I thought it was a really good tweet. It's good for his development. Is it alone? Yeah, it's alone, right?
It's a loan to Mexico. I believe it's Santos Laguna. I believe it is.
Yeah.
Which I think the reason why I made that tweet because I think that for his playstyle, the way he is and his
Liga
skills,
MX. Liga MX. Yeah, he
Liga
fits.
MX, great. That's a great change of pace for him. He'll get good runs with them. Santos is a decent squad, so he'll get good playing time with them, and it fits his play style a lot better. And I think he'll get good development in that league, in that situation. And
I agree.
he's gonna be a bit more comfortable there because I'm not sure how good his English is, but somewhere where he can speak the language, the play style fits his play style a bit better. I think it'll be a good jump for him.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great move for him. I think he'll get better there, and I think a lot of us were kind of frustrated with him.
Hmm.
And
Potential's there.
honestly,
We see the potential. It's there. He just needs to. We need to sharpen the tool a little bit. He needs more
yeah,
polish.
he needs a little bit more polish there. So, he'll go and get that. He'll go and get that at Liga MX, and I think he can come back eventually, maybe, or maybe we end up selling him or whatever. We'll see what we end up doing with Emerson. But he's another one like Indy where, good for him in a way because I don't think there was much of a place for him in the team this year with the
No,
depth that we have at wing and attack. So Emerson, best of luck, bud. I remember that super crazy sloppy goal once, man. Oh,
hey,
like what a
if
range of
if
emotions.
it goes in, it goes in, right?
Yeah, right. So with that, I guess we're done with the roster moves. What do you think all in all? What grade would you give Inter Miami for their off season?
For the off season, I'd give him probably a B minus. We're making good moves. We're trimming the fat a bit. Not the it could always be better, but I think
And
for
this isn't a final grade. We'll make our final
no,
grade next episode. Yeah,
yeah.
because the off season's not over.
This obviously is not over. We're just going through what's going on so far, and we want to get this episode out as soon as possible. But so far, I think we've made good signings, like the Argentines, the Martinez, and stuff like that, and we've kind of trimmed the fat. Um, as much as I love Indy, he didn't have a great season last season. Same thing with Emerson. He didn't have a great season. At least we got him alone, so we technically keep him with us. Indy is gone. Same thing with Lowe. So we're gonna have to make tough decisions. We're almost done with the sanctions. We're just seeing out these sanctions for now. So I'm not gonna be overly harsh on the moves that Henderson has to make. And like I said before, like we always say, we trust Hendo, so we know he's gonna try and do what's best for the team and try and move the things that he knows that he can do and things that he can get away with. So I say a B minus.
I want to give us an A. I want to give us an A because I believe that Chris Henderson did a phenomenal job this offseason.
With what he has.
Getting getting Joseph Martinez on a non-DP deal. I believe that was amazing. Like I said, the Negri and Stefanelli was really, really good. I really want to give us an A, but I want to hold that out until I find out what happens with Pozuelo.
Yeah, that's the most
Because
important thing.
Because if we can't bring him back, I do not. I might even bring it back to like a C plus. B minus if they're lucky. But if they can secure Pozuelo, if we can get him on there and keep that DP and keep one DP slot open, and keep Gregore, I would love to keep Gregore too. Like that, I don't even think there's an option is to get rid of Gregore. Like that dismantles the whole identity of the team in a way with how strong he is in our central midfield. So, we'll see. They have the potential to get that A. So I guess for now I would settle for B plus and kind of pending. So good off season so far. Happy with it.
Real quick, I was looking at the app and Drake Calendar is number 1 apparently.
Yeah, he is. I noticed that at the Vasco game.
Yeah, he was 24 before, but right now Ian Frey is listed as number 24. Who's returning? He's finally returning from his injury.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so Ian Frey could play center back as well. Well, and I have a goalkeeper jersey. I wanted to put Calendar 27. Kind of glad I didn't. I can put Calendar 1 now.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool. Alrighty, so up next we do have the Vasco da Gama match. Like we told you earlier, there's not much to talk about there. As far as what happened on the field between the players. Because it was a snoozer. And as it probably was expected to be. As soon as you saw that starting lineup with Kramashi in there and different things, you could tell he was just trying to get people out there, trying to get them experience. And I think what stole the headlines and what definitely stole Twitter was kind of what happened off the field, what kind of happened in the stands. With the supporters groups and the decision to light the pyros during the game. It is a pretty polarizing topic on Twitter. Most people on Twitter will fall on the side of, it's very dangerous. You're next to an airport, yada, yada, all the negative aspect of it. And there's some people who look at the positive aspect of it, which is the culture and yada, yada. But on our decision, we are going to choose to not speak about it in detail due to our conflicting opinion. It could get a little ugly in here, and it's gotten a little ugly between some people, but we're more than willing to have that conversation in private. If you guys come up to me or Akeem, you want to text us, you want to write to us on maybe on a Twitter DM, or I'd rather keep it off Twitter. I'd rather keep it offline and talk about it in person because I do see value in both sides of the argument. Right. And I do fall on one of the sides. OK, and the side I fall on is different from the side Akeem falls on. And we just don't want to get into all that. But like I said, if you guys want to come and talk to us, you're more than welcome to come and talk to us about it. Anything else you got to say about it? Anything you want to say about it?
About our differences when it comes to how we feel about it. And my opinion isn't that crazy. Like I said, I won't go.
I don't think either opinion is crazy. I don't think either opinion is crazy.
Not crazy. Yeah, crazy is the wrong term, but like I'm not too like hard. My opinion of the situation isn't that harsh. I just have an opinion of how everything was handled and how things should be handled going forward and stuff like that. But the reason why I feel that it should be more talked on a one-to-one level is it was more or less a decision made by a group of people and not just like me or you or just us two. It was kind of a group thing and it was a decision made as a group. So I think when it comes to stuff like that, it's not just one person just making a decision like that. Then yeah, I can give my opinion, but it doesn't really matter because it was a group decision. And another thing is like we're both members of Vice City. We're both paying members of Vice City, but we're not supposed to be for Vice City. We have our own opinions, and this is our podcast. This isn't a Vice City podcast, even though we have a Vice City thing up here. We're members of Vice City, but this is a podcast specifically about our opinions and how we talked about things, right? And our opinions and how we feel about things. So I feel like right now is not the best time to bring it up. I'd rather let, as far as the people that are, for lack of a better term, in charge, and
Yeah.
let them take charge in that and creating a discussion about that. And like I said, if anybody, I'm an open book. Like I said, you said not really on Twitter. I don't care if you got something to say to me. You can hop on my DMs. My DMs
Yeah.
are on all my socials. My socials
No.
the same on everything. If you got something to
I,
say to
I
me,
just I just prefer in person. I just
yeah,
prefer in
no, I
person.
get
But if
that.
you want to DM me, yeah.
If
I think you'd get a lot more out of me in person than you would on a DM.
of
Because
course, of
on a
course.
DM, I'll be a little bit more reserved.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but like, and the way, and that's how you are, and the way I am, I feel, and
yeah.
I'm loose to everybody. If you have something to say to me, I I never have any problem with somebody coming to do is like, hey, I got to talk to you about this, or on, you know what, I think you're wrong about this, and here's why. I will always open that. I'll always open the
Same,
discussion and
same.
like, hey, if you got a problem, I'd rather you, instead of going behind my back and talking about it with somebody else and conspiring and talking about shit. Oh, Calypso does this and Calypso's an asshole. Da, da, da. If you come straight up to me and be like, yo, you're a dickhead, and here's why I think you're a dickhead, or here's why I think you're wrong, I'd rather you do that. I'd rather you just straight up tell
Yeah.
me like, okay, you think I'm a dickhead? You think I'm wrong for this having opinion? All right, tell me why you think I'm wrong, and I'll probably argue with you, but I'm still always open to like having that dialogue.
And on the subject where you talked about it, and it's true, where we are Vice City members. We speak on our behalf, though we don't speak on the behalf of Vice City. Um, we all our like the journalists put on their Twitter, all opinions are our own, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's true. Our opinions are our own, and when you look at it, it's like these groups that are hundreds, thousands of people big, right? Like, these supporters groups, it's impossible for everybody to see the same and be on the same viewpoints. And some people, there is leadership within Vice City. It's not as transparent of a situation as a lot of people wish it would be. And I'll just leave it at that. But at the end of the day, they make the decisions for what happens, and they also end up suffering the consequences. And what ended up happening was, I just want to make some things clear. All right, I want to get into whether it was right, whether it was wrong, but I just want to make some things clear here, because I do see a lot of misinformation going on online. So I just want to make some points here. Number one, this is a non-MLS match. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it wrong. It just makes it so where the rules are a little bit looser, whereas in you're not following MLS guidelines, right? Now, there are still security and stadium rules um, that were broken, right? That were broken, and consequences were handed down. The consequences, and the communication, I felt, was poor between the team. And another thing to clear up is just that not only Vice City, and this wasn't only a Vice City thing either. This was of all the supporters groups that came together and did it, right? So leadership between all the supporters group came and made this decision, and supposedly there was even members of the team, owners of the team, promoting the behavior that happened, right? Like asking, for something like this. Now, the decision was made to protest, and at the second half, a lot of people noticed this too. There's another like controversial topic, was the lack of supporters in the second half, which was done in protest for how the team handled the situation. Which I and again, without getting too deep into it, I don't like how the team handled it. There are aspects of how the supporters handled it that I don't necessarily agree with either. But again, come and talk to us. We're more than willing to talk about it. I share one viewpoint. Akeem shares another, and we're enough of a men to be able to talk to each other in each other's faces and not make it personal, not make it. You know what? I don't like using that term. Not enough of a men, enough of a gracious human being, right? Because that term gets turned around. Oh, real men, this real man. It's not about being a man or whatever you assume, whatever you identify as. It really doesn't matter. What it matters is that you're a gracious human being that's open to some sort of discussion, that's open to some sort of viewpoints. Because I'm willing to listen to what Akeem has to say, and he's willing to listen to what I have to say, and we can look at each other in the face and just say we disagree with each other about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I'm gonna say on it. Like I said, come and talk to us about it, because I really do like the topic. I haven't listened to Battered Herons yet. I heard they had a really good segment on it, so
I
looking forward
listened
to
to
listening to them.
I checked out their last episode. They had Daniel Salino on there, the guy that everybody
Yeah,
hates. But
Solana, yeah,
it was a good episode. But yeah, they have some opinions, and I partly agree with some of this. But like I said, if anybody wants to hear my personal like detailed opinion, feel free to hop in my DMs, and ask me anything you want. I'm an open book if you guys want to know. If anybody else
Same
wants to
here.
know
Same here. Yeah.
how I feel about the whole situation.
Yeah, but
Um,
like you said, I don't think it's the time and space.
mhm.
This isn't the time and space for us to get into that too much because we could also be here forever. We're already pushing it pretty big. But
Yeah,
yeah, all
exactly.
in all, yeah, preseason. It hasn't been the preseason we wanted, but again, it's preseason. I don't give a shit about the preseason.
It's preseason,
You
yeah.
know, I give a shit about what happens against Montreal in the late February or whatever.
Hmm.
Those are the results I'm really looking forward to. So, what do we have coming up now, Mr. Calypso?
Let's check the menu one more time. And very last topic is the uniforms. So, like I mentioned before, a lot of people saw the tweet of that I got. If people are wondering where I got that from, I didn't take that photo myself. I got that from one of the
Our chats.
one
Yeah,
of
it
our
was in a chat.
chats that I it was in a chat that I saw. So it looks like because Adidas outfits the teams every year, and I've seen it's uh, not just Adidas but Fanatics, who runs a lot of the merch for MLS. They have these templates that they give all the teams, and they give like this, like the pink hoodie that we wear. Like every team has their version of that hoodie and stuff like that. So the tweet that I posted was of some gear, some like outer gear, and it looks like the style that they're going for is like a very minimalist, simple style, with the team color being the highlight and the accent. So we have real quick. I can pull up the tweet real quick. We have what are people. I don't know if I would call this a polo shirt, but I guess you can. That's the best term for it. It's like
Collared shirt.
yeah, it's a collared long sleeve shirt, and the if you haven't seen the tweet yet, it's an all. This is how all the gear is. It's all black, but with the accents of pink in a certain area. So on the quote unquote polo, it's an all black long sleeve shirt, but the collar is our pink. Then you have the sweatpants and the shorts, which are the same exact design, that has a diagonal pink stripe going down the sides, but of course the sweatpants are just longer versions. And then we have this jacket, which I think it was you who brought up that it said it looks reversible. I think that was you who said that, right?
No, it was Camilo. He asked if it was
Camilo,
reversible,
yeah. Camilo
and then
said
I believe Nano confirmed that it is.
it is
So
reversible.
okay,
Yes.
but wait a second. Okay, those are new items. All of those are new items for next season.
Mm-hmm.
But the Anthem jacket isn't part of the same collection as the items that you posted.
Yeah, it doesn't have that same
It is
striping.
separate.
Yeah, the
So
Anthem jacket
yes,
is different.
so the that line that came out with the polo, the
Mm-hmm.
shorts, the hat, and I don't know anything else that came out there. But that's the travel line. That's what the
Mm-hmm.
players travel in. That's kind of the gear they give them, like when they're on the airplane,
Yes.
buses, whatever. You see them rocking a lot of that type of gear. That's what that's meant for. The Anthem jacket, I believe, is what they wear pregame. They're all zipped up or
Yes,
whatever.
the Anthem jacket is like the warm
And
up top. Yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be another like $160 jacket that I really want. I've still yet to buy one of those expensive Inter Miami rain jackets, but I definitely want this one because it is reversible.
I got
I like the
the
Adidas logo. They did change the Adidas logo as well.
Yeah, it looks
They
like kind of
they
like a jock tag. That seems to be like the common theme. That it's even on the pink one there. But even on the
yeah,
last Anthem jacket, the one that says Miami in the back, I got that at like an end of season sale. So that's usually when I get most of my jerseys. I wait till the season's like near end. And
same.
they're
You get
usually
some
a lot
really good
cheaper.
deals.
Yeah, you get some great deals
Yeah,
and stuff like that. But the New
but
Jersey that's coming up, I might just get that off rip.
You might. All right,
I might.
I won't.
I might.
I won't. I won't. And let's talk about the New Jersey. Let's talk about everything. Let's talk about the main thing here, right? So in the pictures you posted, one of the main things people have been noticing, you notice it in the jersey, and I have an eye for this shit because I love the fucking pink tone. I've been a little bit annoyed with this part of Inter Miami experience as the fourth year. Um, you should be building an identity, in my opinion, and part of that identity comes with the colors.
Hmm.
Now, pink and black is a really cool colorway. It's not a very common colorway in sports, and I think it goes really well with Miami or pink and black. I think it's super cool. But something that's frustrating to me is the change in the tone of pink
Yeah,
every
it's a different
single
shade of pink
year.
every year.
And and at this point, I think we are safe to say that they will be changing the shade of pink every single year as they have done. Um, I'll bring up some examples now in a second, but we went from a clear pink, right? I think I have a few of them here. We went from the clear pink right here on these jerseys. It's you could barely tell the difference between the pink and the white, and it's called the clear pink. That's what they
Mm-hmm.
went with. And if you look at the crest, it's not the same pink.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
like
little bit
slightly
of a
different
deeper pink
shades.
on the
Yeah.
crest. It's a little bit deeper. Then the second year, they went into La Palma shade. Now, this shade of pink isn't just used on the jerseys or on the material. It's also used on and this isn't just a contrast. This isn't just a difference between, a white background and a black background. You could
Mm.
tell that the pinks are different. This is a
Very
deeper
sudden.
pink
Yeah.
here in La Palma. So La Palma comes with a deeper pink, and it's closer to what's on the logo. I believe this one probably is a little bit closer to what's on the crest. That the crest doesn't actually change. And then last but not least, for the third season, we got the pink jerseys, which Wilson donned the Pepto Bismol tone, right?
Yeah, that one's a
Um,
much lighter pink. Yeah.
it's a little bit lighter pink than what they use with La Palma. Again, if you look at the jersey and the crest, you could even just tell right there on the line the differences in the pink. This one's a little bit closer to the clear pink, but not as clear.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this year, I would say is my least favorite shade of pink that they've ever used.
I see.
It's very dark. It's almost fuchsia-ish, and it's almost red to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not, but it's just too close to red for my personal taste. And I believe that when you go around changing the pink so much, you're not building this identity. I don't know. It's just all over the place. Why can't we just stick with one shade of pink? And when the New Jersey came out, I personally I don't like them. I don't think they're very creative. I'm a big fan of La Palma. They got the design with the palm that's very subtle,
Yeah.
and they try to replicate that with the waves, but putting it in stripes.
I,
Um,
I I like the design. I think it's a little bit different instead
yeah,
of just having like what they call hoops, the
yeah,
horizontal stripes.
yeah,
I think that's a really for those that haven't seen it. It's basically like thick vertical horizontal stripes, but there's waves within the stripes.
yeah.
I've
The
said this.
pattern is in the
Yeah,
stripes. Yeah,
I've said this
only.
about La Palma, and it's probably going to be the same way with this New Jersey, whatever they call it. Is I think they should go further with it, because it is a very subtle design, and I also have La Palma in my closet as well, and the design is very subtle. I think they should go the opposite. It should stand out. It should be a two tone, basically. It should be
Yeah,
it's more with La Palma
I
than the new
agree.
one.
I
It
agree.
should be like a two tone. Like it should be very. It shouldn't be subtle. It should be very in your face, and the stripes would be very pronounced. I think it would look better like that. Even on the in our first jersey that had like people don't realize that there's a bunch of herons embossed on the shirt, like
Yeah, you can
up and
see it.
even on the white one. Even that one you can't see it there, but there's herons embossed
No, you can
in
see it.
barely.
Look.
There's herons
Yeah.
embossed on the shirt. Imagine if that was actually a design and you had like almost a polka dot design, but all herons. Like that would
Yeah,
have
with the
looked
clear
better.
pink. With the clear pink, I think that might have been a cool look. Vancouver kind of did that once upon a time, or Montreal,
Yeah.
I forgot what team did it. But me, you guys know me, everybody knows me. This is the type of jersey I'm a fan of,
Yeah.
right here. Out there, loud, fucking awesome design. Not everybody likes it, and it seems to me like Inter Miami likes the conservative look. Most of them are solid.
Yeah.
The
I,
patterns, the
I
patterns
I
are
find it weird
subtle.
that
You know,
they play it very safe, and I find that weird for a team that wears fucking pink. Like
yeah, yeah.
you're playing it safe.
You're playing pink and you want to make it look classic, and I get it. Some people prefer it, some
Yeah.
people do prefer it, but I do believe that you could find it somewhere in the middle. Make the home kit a solid pink, whatever you want to make it, right? Like a solid pink jersey
Mhm.
as your home kit, and make your away kit a little bit more electrifying. Like you said, maybe if you could have made the Palma like white or gray or something like that, it would have been really
Mhm.
cool. Or like a light shade of pink, almost like a light shade of neon pink. It would have looked really cool. I don't know, but
Mhm.
that's one thing we agree on a lot of things, surprisingly enough, and that's one thing that we can agree on. Not everybody agrees with us on the jersey take, but again, I'm not a big fan of it, and I noticed it first when they released the schedule. As soon as they released the
Yeah,
schedule, everybody's
they
like, "What's
used
up?"
it.
They're
They're
using
using
a
it heavy.
darker pink, and I told them that's the pink they're going to use. Watch, and it matched the jersey leaks and the jersey.
And they're
I,
using
I
the
the
same
jersey
wave
maker on me.
design in our graphics as well. So they pretty much admitted like, yeah, that's the design at least.
I I hated on this jersey a lot. I thought I would never get this jersey. It's grown on me so much. I actually really like it
Yeah,
now. So I'm willing to say that right now. I'm not a big fan of the new Wave jersey, but who knows? Maybe I will be in the near future.
yeah. Let me know
Um,
if you get a chance to see how it looks, because I believe there might be an event coming out soon, so we'll see.
yeah, there's an event coming up tomorrow.
So yeah, well, today by
Yeah,
the time you guys see this, so you can
yeah.
DM me and let me know how it looks in person, because it's always gonna look a little bit different in person because of lighting and all that shit. So maybe when
Yeah,
you actually see it in person, you get to say, okay, maybe it's not that bad or anything like that.
I'll send you some pictures and maybe we'll put it on Twitter or
If they
Instagram.
let you, because they probably won't let you. I think it's I don't want to say private event, but they'll probably see like no pictures or anything like that. So
Man,
we'll see.
knowing the team, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll see. But right before we wrap up everything right here, last thing, what are your, or you know what? Nah, we'll do our rough draft here. What are your expectations for this season? How do you see Inter Miami finishing? And it's
Finishing
funny
is
because we're right in the beginning.
yeah, yeah. As far as finishing, what I expect, not what I want, but what I sorry, just bumped the mic. What I expect, I expect us to at the very least make a playoffs. At the least, make the playoffs, because
Oh, yeah,
I see no reason not to because of the pickups that we made. Especially, we have a left back, we have Joseph, all the things we talked about at the beginning of the episode. There's no reason why we should not make the playoffs with the team that we have, especially if we most likely like we will, a keep Pozuelo, and b by the miracle of however we get Messi, there's no reason why we can't make the playoffs. Not host a home game, I should say.
I'll tell you this: if we don't make the playoffs, it's a complete and utter disaster of a season, epic
I'll say it right
failure.
now. If we miss the playoffs, Phil Neville needs to go. And you know I'm the biggest Phil Neville. I'm not the biggest Phil
Yeah,
Neville fan, but you know I apologize for a lot for Phil Neville. If we don't make the playoffs this season, then he's got to go.
yeah, no, the playoffs is a barring a
Bare
disaster and
minimum.
injuries or
Bare
something
minimum.
like that. Bare minimum, bare minimum for me, fifth seed, sixth seed. You can't finish in the seventh and eighth seed, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, fifth, sixth seed minimum. Now, do I think we could do it? Yeah, I do think we could do it, but I also think things could go wrong. So best case scenario for me this year would be finishing in the third seed. I don't see us competing for the top two spots in the East, but I can see us competing for the third seed. And worst case scenario for us, if things don't go super wrong, but the teams just look shaky like it normally does. Worst case scenario, I see us in a 7 or 8 seed. Um, but yeah, that's what I think so far for this year. I'm actually pretty optimistic in my opinion. I think this might be the best season yet for Inter Miami, but only time will tell, and we'll see what happens. We will be making another episode in the near future once the rosters are finalized. We're gonna wait for that. We'll make
Mm-hmm.
a final episode and making our predictions against Montreal and whatnot. So any final thoughts, Akeem, before we sign out?
Any final thoughts? Real quick. So the frequency of the episodes are going to be more basically the way I saw last season with our infrequent uploads is there was more of a pilot run just to see how we did things, how things went, how the graphics went, stuff like that. Maybe trying a different not format, but like different like the working with live
Platform?
streaming. But not even just, yeah, platforms trying live streaming. So we're gonna try new things. We're getting our feet wet and stuff like that. So the upload should be more frequent. The episodes should be more frequent. I saw more last year because we started in the middle of the season. It was more of like a pilot just to get things going. So now that we're
Yeah,
slowly building up and stuff like that, we can be more frequent. And now that we know what we're doing for the most part.
yeah. I think last year we started in the middle of the season. I'm really proud of what we did last year. I totally, I had zero expectations for this, guys.
Exactly.
Zero. Yeah, I
So
really, and the way you guys have been responding, anybody who's listening, man, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I really do feel good that the product we're putting out is a product that you guys are proud to listen to and proud to be a part of, because I think we are giving a voice to the fans. I think we're giving a voice to supporters, and I think this year we do want to bring more people on. come in and collaborate. I know Batter Herons went on with Solana. It'd be cool if we get him on an episode. If we get more Vice City members, Siege members, IMS, whoever wants to jump on, maybe we can come on and do something. I have heard people asking for Spanish episodes. My
Yeah.
Spanish is really good, man.
Y'all
My
don't, y'all
Spanish is
don't
pretty
want that.
good.
Y'all don't want that. I will butcher your language. I barely speak English as it is. I will butcher your wonderful language.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe we'll do like Ventanita en español or something like that.
I'll
That'd be
try my
cool. Like,
best.
yeah, we could try and figure it out. We'll bring somebody in and you could put on Google Translate
Exactly.
and see what we're talking about. But all in all, guys, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys make this fun. Obviously, we are, like Akeem said, we're trying to build this up, trying to get better, and I believe that our content on Twitter, thanks to you, Akeem, has been amazing. It's been really good. The Instagram's kind of I'm in charge of that. I need to get better on the gram.
Full transparency, I put you in charge of the Instagram because I fucking hate Instagram. That's the only reason.
Yeah, honestly, I'm starting to fucking hate Instagram as well. I'm starting to like to. I honestly, I'm at the point right now where most of you guys know I'm a teacher and shit. Social media is just pissing me off in a way.
Yeah.
Like I really stay really heavily away from social media, believe it or not. And I do a lot of reading. I read a lot of articles and shit, and I don't know. I'd rather. I'm kind of getting sick of it all, but whatever.
I am on Twitter a lot. That's why.
Content.
That's why I post so much on Twitter because I'm always on Twitter and fucking Instagram, basically.
We also the podcasting gets a little complicated. I don't know if you guys know. I'll show you guys how the sausage is made. But when you want to upload a podcast, you got to go through this like RSS thing, and it does cost money. Money did get tight for me, so I kind of just was like, all right, I started off at first to see how it went, and it was cool. I like getting it. We did have a lot of engagement on the podcast things, but we are gonna stick to YouTube for now since it is free.
Just
Just for now, and then eventually, if we do want to spend the money on putting in the podcast. If you guys do really miss it being on the podcast, let us know. Maybe we can crowdfund it. Yeah, we can work something out and maybe get us back on Apple Podcasts, Spotify podcasts, and stuff like that. But for now, YouTube's gonna have to do. I think YouTube is a really good platform. And yeah, guys, we're in it for the long haul. We're gonna try to make more content, try to make this more possible. We did find a good solution today with this laptop. Seems to be working. Seems to be just as good.
Let us know.
Yeah, it seems like you don't need a powerful gaming PC to make a podcast. You can do it on a laptop. I knew it all along. I was just like fucking so depressed about losing my PC. I'm still a little bit. I kind of like filled the void with the PS5, but I don't know if I need a new motherboard or what is it. I'm just gonna take it to a PC repair. I'm tired of trying to fix my own problems. I'll pay somebody to fix it for me.
Exactly.
But yeah, thank you guys. Excited for the season. Excited for the next episode. Excited to see what Inter Miami could finalize this roster as, because I really do enjoy this roster right now, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode where we mostly covered the roster, and that's the big news with Inter Miami. Don't pay attention to preseason. If you guys are freaking out over preseason, chill out. Chill the fuck out. Don't. It's not good for your health. We already stress about Inter enough during the regular season.
We got enough to stress about during the season. Save your energy, bro.
When the games do count, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we get out of Inter Miami. Like we said, we're hoping for the playoffs for sure. As far as Open Cup, I'm definitely looking for a run there too, because it sucks that Orlando beat us and then won the whole thing. I could have seen us winning the whole thing if we would have got those penalty kicks, or if we wouldn't have conceded an extra time after we got that nasty Mota goal. But again, thank you guys. Super excited. Much love. Lo quiero. Te amo.
See ya. Good luck. Have fun.